Hello, today is day 99, which is nuts that I have been almost out here for 100 days. Gotta do a big celebration tomorrow. Anyway, I'm walking 16 miles today. My mom's in town, so I get to go to town and take a shower and sleep in a bed, which is the best. She's from this area, so she's been enjoying, or she's not from this area, but she's from Pennsylvania. Spent a lot of time here, so she's been enjoying seeing the state, and I've been enjoying frequent hotel bed and hanging out with her. So doing 16 miles to a road, and that's about it. Gonna endure the rocks again today. My feet are hurting, but we only actually have a few more days of Pennsylvania. I should be there to Delaware Water Gap by Thursday or Friday, and today's Monday, so not much longer now. Cheers to day 99 and 16 miles to a bed. Here's today in Rocksylvania. I am about to go see Knife's Edge. Yeah, Knife's Edge. This is the trail. Whew, okay. I've been doing okay with the rocks because it'll be like this for a while, and then you'll get like a few miles that aren't like this, and so it just goes back and forth between this and that, and so you have like a little bit of a reprieve. But I have heard that Palmerton and North, oh look at that view, there's no more like little breaks. Oh, I don't even know where the trail, oh, there's a white blaze, okay. Anyway, just wanted to give a little view into this situation. Whew, okay. I think we understand why they call it Knife's Edge.
Going on to the shelter, because we've actually spoken about the shelter last night anyway. Right. Oh, hello. He did get back up to the right spot, but then he went back up, went to the white blaze, came back down, and then came back into Duncannon.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know.
There's like 2 or 3 spots,
okay, this is...
like 2 or 3 springs.
Okay, good morning. So there's a easier trail that way, but the AT, as you can see, never chooses the easy option. Okay, I'll get over there. Okay. I love the AT. This is really good, huh? So we're in a little bit of a dry stretch in Pennsylvania, and there is streams, but because of some pretty bad pollution out here, you're not supposed to drink it unless it's an emergency only. So some people are very nice and put some water jugs here to refill water, which is great because I didn't start off with enough water this morning. Anyway, we love the trail angels that help like that. Hello, happy day 100. I've been hiking the AT for 100 days, which is woo! Deserves a celebration, which we are gonna do in Palmerton tonight. Most of my friends started either the day before me or the day I did, so we're all going into town tonight because we made it 100 days. It's been an awesome 100 days. There have been a lot of days I wanted to give up, and a lot of days where I felt like this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. And through it all, we've kept going forward. So that's all that's important. I have walked about 1,260 miles in 100 days, and I've taken, I think, 12 zeros. So I haven't hiked for 100 days, but I've been out here 100 days, and that feels like a really cool milestone. So today I'm doing a really short day, only 9 miles, into Palmerton because my mom left this morning, which always makes me sad when people out here that we're visiting leave. So my motivation's always a little bit lower. And all my friends are going to Palmerton to celebrate the 100-day situation. And I was only 9 miles from where I started to Palmerton. So 9-mile day on my 100th day. And I'm almost out of Pennsylvania. Today is Tuesday. And I plan to be in Delaware Water Gap, which is the New Jersey border, by Thursday night, perhaps, maybe Friday morning, because of this 9-mile day. And apparently the climb out of Palmerton is nuts with the rocks. So we'll see. But happy day 100. We made it 100 days out here. And that's really exciting and cool. Okay, on to do more rock scrambles. Take a picture of every AT sign that I see on the trail because it makes me happy. And we're getting a tiny little break in the rocks, so morale is high on this day 100. This is so pretty. Just this view and this green. I guess I'm on a ridge line because nothing's really higher, but very cool, very pretty, Pennsylvania. The AT is so pretty today going into Palmerton. Nobody has ever talked about this hike being a good one, but I'm here to tell you it's a good one. This is the ridge line. It's kind of a far drop, but a beautiful view. Wide open. Blueberries are out. Oh my gosh. I've worked in the north in Canada and Maine, and these don't come out until way later. Wow. Okay, let's have a fresh blueberry. She's really small. So good. Got some more. Wild blueberries are one of my favorite things about being outdoors in the summer and living in Canada and Maine like every summer for the past few years. They're in abundance. You can collect so many. You can make like blueberry pancakes and bread, but it's always like end of July, early August, and I guess Pennsylvania, because it gets hotter earlier, they're out now. But I didn't even know Pennsylvania had wild blueberry bushes like that. I really got to start respecting where I'm from more. My goodness, there's so many. Palmerton is so cute. Look, you can see the rocks of Rocksylvania on that mountain out there in the distance. But the town is really nice with this park. The problem is there's nowhere good to stay in the town. So there's like people that let you camp at their houses here. So I'm just gonna camp in someone's backyard tonight. But it's a very cute town and I'm glad to be here. Good morning from this trail. I'm about to do a lot of climbing, I think, out of Palmerton. Okay, I'm currently doing the climb out of Palmerton, and it's a lot of like full-on climbing up the rocks. Beautiful view, but a little bit scary because these rocks kind of drop right down, and I've had to pull myself a few times, but it's kind of fun. It makes going uphill more interesting, to be honest. Okay, I have no idea where the trail goes because if it goes straight up that way to that point, that looks kind of crazy. And this is the edge of the cliff right here. So anyway, this climb was nuts. I just came up that. Took me a long time. Oh, Rocksylvania. She's in full force now. Let's play a fun game called Spot the Trail. Oh, this is fun. So they've made a new AT this year in June is when they started this trail I'm walking on. It is still June. It's been about 2 weeks since they made this reroute. It's really foggy today, but has a good view, but you can tell it's not been walked on very much. So I feel like I'm a trailblazer. It's pretty cool. I just finished the hike out of Palmerton, which is pretty infamous, and it was a fair amount of rock scrambling and like pulling yourself up on rocks, but I actually had a lot of fun and liked it because it made a big climb feel more fun, go by faster. So, once again, the people that leave comments being like, oh, get ready for this one, this is the hardest thing you're ever gonna do. They're just never true, I feel. Anyway, this is the new trail. And good view. Walking this new AT, which is still a little bit overgrown and everything, just is really reminding me of my summers in canoeing. This is a lot of the paths, what they look like when you have to walk over the land to a new lake. And I'm reminiscing, feeling pretty good. Hello, it is day 101, and I am, well, 101. Anyway, it is Thursday. Wednesday. I need to be in Delaware Water Gap on Friday morning because me and my friends decided to go to New York City for the weekend. There is a bus out of Delaware Water Gap that's pretty cheap for round trip tickets and quick. It's only like an hour and a bit to New York City. So I'm taking a few days off the trail to go to New York City. I think it'll be really good for me mentally to get off the trail for I think I'm going off for 3 days, so kind of almost fell. Kind of a big break, but I think I need it right now. And yeah, so just made that decision and bought the train ticket or the bus ticket. So yeah, Delaware Water Gap by 12:30 p.m. Friday. I am I think about 30 miles from Delaware Water Gap right now. So really only have to do like 2 15-mile days today and tomorrow to get right outside of Delaware Water Gap. So long story short, I believe I'm gonna do 16 miles today to a shelter outside of Palmerton, but it's a long, it's not that long. It's gonna rain tonight a lot, all night long, and the shelter's small, and everybody I know is going there. Like 15 people are going there tonight. So I'm a little nervous because my tent pole broke last night and now my tent won't set up correctly anymore, and it definitely won't be waterproof. So if I don't get to that shelter in time to stay in the shelter, I might have to walk to Wind Gap, Pennsylvania, the next town, which would be a 20-mile day, which isn't terrible, but I would rather stay in the shelter. So we'll see how it goes. And yeah, unfortunately my tent pole broke. Last night we stayed with a really nice trail angel in Palmerton who offers her house up because she knows there's nowhere to stay in town, and she was great. So yeah, I think that's it. I'll keep updating. And the climb out of Palmerton was not too bad. More fun than anything else. So okay, day 101. Let's get out of Pennsylvania. The AT just likes playing games. Oh my god. There's like a perfectly good pine trail that way. Okay, to Delaware Water Gap we go. Let's get out of the state of Pennsylvania. And then Wind Gap. means I'm close to Delaware Water Gap. That's the trail. All right, getting closer to Katahdin. 910 still sounds pretty far, but it's crazy that we're in only the triple digits instead of quadruple. So my friend Double Check had the idea that you should celebrate your golden mile, which is the mile that correlates to the hiker number that you got in Amicalola State Park, which is the beginning of the trail. And when you register, they give you a little hiker tag with a hiker number. Anyway, I was hiker 1283, and now I'm at mile 1283. And it is this gravel road and these pretty trees. So I can do nothing to celebrate other than cheer and be happy about it, but yeah, I found my hiker number mile, and it is pretty, isn't it? Look at all these trees. Hello, it is day 102, and today we are going to walk all the way to Delaware Water Gap, which was 20 miles from where we camped, but we woke up to pouring rain, and it poured all the way until 12:30 p.m. and we could have walked through the rain, but we really didn't want to. And so we sat in the shelter together until 12:30, and so we got a late start to the day. So I'm not sure if 20 miles is feasible, especially over these rocks, which make walking go a lot slower. There's a shelter that's 14 miles away from where we camped last night, which would mean doing 6 in the morning before our bus at 12:30, which I think is doable. So I might just stay at the shelter because it is already 3:30 p.m. and I'm still like 6 or 7 miles from the shelter. I'm not sure, but the rocks are making it slow going, especially because they're wet. Anyway, we are very close to the end of Pennsylvania. I will either reach the town tonight or tomorrow, and then I get to take some days off to help my feet recover in New York City. So, happy day 102. Here's the rocks. Delaware Water Gap is in a cloud right now. But it's a really, really cool view. Haven't seen anything like that yet. And I'm walking through a field. Got some enchanted forest vibes this morning. Today is day 103. I didn't walk all the way to Delaware Water Gap last night because I didn't start until like basically 12:45 when I really started moving because of the rain, and I walked 14 miles and when I got to the shelter it was like 6:45 p.m. and I still had 6.5 miles to go to town, and I didn't want to rock scramble in the dark, so I just stayed at the shelter and got up early this morning to finish the walk into Delaware Water Gap before the 12:30 p.m. bus that leaves to go to New York City today, which I'm super excited about. I have put myself in a little bit of a shame spiral over it, feeling like I shouldn't take 3 days off right now, and that I need to be moving forward always so that I give myself enough buffer room in New England, specifically New Hampshire and southern Maine, as I know they're going to be really hard and I'll probably want a lot of extra time to get through there. So I'm really guilting myself over it, but I also think it'll be really good for my mental health. And the pace that I'm on right now has me finishing August 24th. So I do have a lot of wiggle room. I calculated last night that if I wanted to finish by October 1st, even with all these days off, I'd only have to do 9 miles a day. So obviously I'm still fine with pacing wise and everything. I want to finish in September, And if I want to finish by September 15th, I have to do 11 miles a day, every day, which is still low enough that I'm not super concerned about me taking off, because I almost always do more than 11 when I'm actually in the swing of walking. But yeah, I'm thinking for the mental health, it'll be really good to take these days off in New York City and just relax for a second. My feet are really hurting after Pennsylvania. I discovered after doing it that from Palmerton to Delaware Water Gap is near constant rocks. Basically no breaks in it. But before Palmerton, it would be like rocky for 5 miles and then calm for like 2 miles. So anyway, that's the Rocksylvania discovery. So from Palmerton to here has been really brutal. And anyway, I'm gonna try to push pretty hard through New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut, because if I can do big mileage that whole time, then I'll be really set up for New England. And that's the thought process there. And I don't know what else to update on. Yeah, I feel like really excited that today I'll be in Delaware Water Gap, meaning I've finished Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania has felt like a pretty big obstacle for a while. Everybody's been talking about how hard it is with the rocks, and it's also the second longest state after Virginia. So I had a lot of anxiety about it, and today I will be finished it in a mere like 5 miles now probably. So feeling grateful for that. And yeah, hope this rant wasn't too annoying. I will see the Delaware Water Gap soon, and I will exit Pennsylvania soon, and I am excited for a few days off in one of my favorite cities in the world. Cheers to day 103. Made it! I'm very close to home from Delaware, but even more importantly, I am just now walking out of Pennsylvania, which is crazy. I have to actually walk through the town of Delaware Water Gap, which I believe is this way. I think this is the way the AT goes. But I'm like, can't believe I just walked through Pennsylvania. I knew this was gonna feel like soon when I leave Pennsylvania I'd done something.
Pulled pork sandwich with the 2 sides. One pasta salad and one.
Spot the AT hikers. Sorry.
Will we get hit by a car?
Yes, probably.
Comedy show tickets, not show.
We are in Times Square with our hiking packs on. Smile!
Whatever.